Welcome to the Hudson Valley Disc Golf Podcast. This week we have Alex, Corey, Jaimen, Jasan, and Randy. We're recording on Sunday night as opposed to Monday because I'll be out of town for the eclipse, heading to Syracuse to watch it, followed by a AAA Mets game. Anybody else have any special plans for Monday? Jasan, anything?
Nope. Just the normal stuff.
Jaimen?
Yeah, I'm getting out of work at 2:30. Glens Falls is at, I think, 98% totality anyways, but I'm going to try to drive up through Ticonderoga to see if I can get to the very edge of it by 3:20, 3:30 time.
You know what they say, arrive early, stay late.
Yeah, I am doing that totally backwards.
On 4-8.
Yeah, but no, I think it'll work. My reasoning, and I am excited to report back on how it actually works, is that Ticonderoga is kind of in between 87 and Vermont. So the Vermonters are probably just going to stay in Vermont, and people on 87 aren't going to be going over there. I think they're going to be going more into the Adirondacks, kind of straight up the road. So it might be kind of a quiet spot. It might have a lot of people from Washington County, but a lot of people from Washington County is still not a lot of people everywhere else. It's all like back roads, so I don't think there's anything too crazy.
Randy, anything?
Yeah, I'm driving up to Paradox Brewing. They're doing like a Kolsch service for like a 2-hour span, during the eclipse. So I'm like getting out of work at 10 to get up there and just gonna hang out for 3 or 4 hours.
Do you know who makes the best Kolsch?
You're gonna say Utica?
Genesee.
No, close though. Genesee, yeah.
Yeah.
Them ruby red Kolsches be slapping.
Yeah, Koch always brings those. They're great.
Yeah, they're like the perfect summer after round disc golf beer. You could suck down the first one because it's delicious and then enjoy the second one.
So what do you got going on, Corey? Anything?
I'll probably change the oil on my motorcycle. That's about it.
You probably don't want to do it right then. It'll be too dark.
No, I think it's supposed to be 3:30. I'll still be at work, so I don't know. Maybe I'll bring my welding mask to work so I can step outside for 2 minutes and stare at the sun. And then since we're not recording on Monday, I don't know. It's gonna be weird. Damn, it's too bad I couldn't go to a putting league.
I'm sorry.
Alex, any plans?
Nah, I'll probably try and get out and play around in the afternoon, but that's after the eclipse. It's supposed to be getting super nice out this coming week, so looking forward to that.
Today was kind of a precursor, I think. It was the first kind of nice day. Well, we talked about Team Challenge all year, so it would have been weird to skip this week. What would Bickersmith do on Friday? I mean, he didn't even get to play finals, so got to hear about it. I figure we have 4 topics to cover: Team Challenge, Fools Fest, some Last Week in Disc Golf, and Skip Ace. And Skip Ace is just a reminder to get everybody's picks in for Jonesboro.
Boom, knocked it out already.
Doing it now.
3 things left.
Yeah, see, look it. Boom. Already down to 3.
25% done.
Yep, exactly. I figured we go chronologically. So, Corey, Tuesday, J-Dubs Points Championship. How did that go?
Yeah, how did that go? It was kind of funny. The weather forecast, man, it seemed like it was going to be pretty shitty out right when league was going to start. And I think because of that, only 13 people showed up, I think. And then once we started playing, it was almost a non-issue. I think I didn't even use an umbrella. I didn't have a rain jacket. I think I used one towel the whole time. But nonetheless, 12 other people plus me showed up and played. And it seems like those are always the days where I kind of play pretty good when there's no points available. But we played the South layout. We had Justin Michelli again taking CTPs and playing pretty well. I guess not really a whole lot to say other than I pulled the Cali chip and took the dub, which then also had me thinking of other classic dubs leagues like BS, should the Cali get all of the winnings if they only paid one share of the entry fee and not twice? And how many shots does a Cali player get? Do they get one on par 4s or 2? And do they have to take that one? And it was just kind of interesting because I haven't really given it much of a thought since we used to do a pool Cali rules in the old league format. And I feel like I saw a lot of banter about Cali, or I don't know other names they go by.
I see here Odd Dog. I've never heard that, but I see
Odd Dog. Yeah, I think that's what Disc Golf Scene puts it in.
So what are your rules as far as kind of a par 4? Do you get an extra throw?
So we used to play A-Pool Cali rules where if you were an A-Pool player, you had to take your Cali shot. There was no option.
So if you threw a second shot, you were taking the result no matter what.
Right. Yeah. If you're gonna use a mulligan, you basically abandon your first shot. And I'm pretty sure we still did 2 shots on par 4s, but with trying to make the league a skill agnostic or whatever, you're just players. I scrapped the A pool Cali rules. Everyone throws the same shots. And because of that, like, you could have an off day as a Cali player and it totally screw you, or you could be playing good that day and Cali is going to seem more advantageous. But I just figured that, like, the whole thing of me doing the league was like pulling what's the word, like your opinion about something or somebody. I feel like it starts with an S.
Surveying?
What would you say, Alex?
I said surveying.
No, those are two totally. Those are bad guesses.
Soliciting?
No.
Stalactite.
The rock formation. Not skepticism. Anyways, I can't think of the word. I wanted to pull like opinions out of it and just kind of use like just one set of rules for everybody. So we don't do anything special for Cali. Everyone gets, an extra shot on par 3s and 2 on par 4s, and there's no like, if you play Cali, even though you paid only one share of the entry fee, there's no like you only take half the pot. Mm-hmm. The payouts are per position, whether that's one person or 2 people. That doesn't really matter.
Yeah, if you start doing that kind of stuff, then where's the extra money go? Does it go in the ace pot? Does it go?
Exactly.
Does it get split amongst everybody else? Then it's better. At least
I've seen some leagues. It might have been actually that Bomber course. There was a post about like laying out all the rules, like getting down to the nitty gritty, like stuff like that, just so that, to avoid issues in the future. And I'm like, yeah, this is exactly what I don't want to do. Like have to type up like a 12-point rules, special circumstances, and just complicate it. Yeah. So, anyways, not a lot of people showed up. I played Cali. I won. Justin Muccelli got the cash CTP. I think finally the birdie bank wasn't hit and there was no aces. So the ace pot grows.
And Justin's still in the lead. Do you know how many points he has?
Justin is still in the league. It looks like Justin Muccelli, 69 points. Nice. I'm at 55 and Joe DeSkulka's at 51 for your top 3. Everyone else is under 50 points.
Including Brian Bickersmith.
All
right. Alex, Stony Kill random draw dubs. Did you play?
I did not go. It was probably the most miserable day that I have seen in a long time for Stony Kill dubs. It was like sleeting and incredibly windy, and if it wasn't sleeting, it was raining. So I skipped it. I think there were 7 teams, or like 6 in a Cali or something like that. Yeah, but very low showing for Stony Kill League, and I don't blame anyone who didn't go out that day because it was not pleasant.
Yeah, I'm not even seeing any results on the disc golf scene.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they haven't put it on disc golf scene yet, but it might be on UDisc.
Oh, okay. Well, if you didn't show up, I'm not looking that up.
Yeah, Stony Kill. Yeah, I found it. Random dubs Wednesday. So 7 teams and a Cali is what it was.
Okay,
it's not bad.
6 down, 1
Happy weather,
which is approximately half the score of what like a normal week. Like 12 down, 10, 11, 12 is generally the range where you're going to be winning it at Stony Kill, and it was 6 down. So not a pleasant day.
All right, Dispeak Club Year 2. I don't think they played either. I think they skipped this week because the weather was kind of hanky. Yeah, that would have been the 20. No, that would have been the 4th. Did they miss? Have they skipped 2 weeks now?
I kind of feel like that might have been a thing.
All right. Well, then that was easy. And then Friday there was the Disc Golf Journey League. Alex, did you play this week?
I did play this week. It was not nearly as bad as it was last week. Referring to weather. Obviously, the league was ran just as smoothly as it always is. But not quite as windy. Played reasonably well. I didn't have anybody to play against in my division this time.
A win's a win, man. A win's a win.
Shot even on Jay West, which is like a 950. So I take that all day.
Jay West, is that what we played last week, just without the whites?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Same layout, just you played the blues when we played whites last week.
I was thinking about playing it. Brian and I decided to play a J36 match play. And I didn't expect that we were going to play 36 holes. So I'm like, I should still have time and like energy to play a league after, if anything. But nope, we literally played every single freaking hole to decide the win. I think I beat him on the last hole to win 1 up. But
oh, wow.
36 hole match play.
That's crazy. I hadn't heard about a 36-hole match play since. Jason, isn't that what you did, or did you do 27 with Harry Lehman last year?
I think we did 27.
Oh, okay. So I guess I've never heard of a 36-hole match play. Crazy. Jason, I saw you didn't play the Disc Golf Journey League.
No, Jess played this week or
Nice.
Last week.
I don't know. It's Sunday. Is it still? Do you start your week on a Sunday or a Monday?
Sunday's still part of the weekend, so Monday's the first day, in my opinion.
I was thinking when this airs too.
That's true. See, you're always thinking.
I don't know about that, but
I actually thought about going too, but earlier in the week, Mike Zanchelli messaged me and said, "Hey, I got a buddy playing at FDR this weekend. Any chance you can give like a breakdown of the course?" So I spent like the next couple of hours just going through in my head. And I was like, man, I need to play me some, because this seems very easy what I'm writing down here. Like, oh, just do this, 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 and this. So I was like, yeah. So I ended up going to FDR doubles. I don't know who all won. And my rundown did not help me at all. We played yellow front, white back, except for hole 1, which we played the white.
Because yellow's a swamp.
Yeah. Which that's my landing zone anyway. So, but yeah, it was fun. There was a 9, I think, showed up, and there was a tie for first at 5 down. I think me and my partner ended up 3 down. We had a harrowing adventure on hole 5. We went for the more risky side of the hill putt for par, and yeah. But otherwise, it was pretty, I didn't play particularly well, but well enough to save a lot of pars. Did anybody else play anything this week? During the week, I mean. Any dubs or leagues or anything?
Nope. Not on my end.
All right. Well, that is the last week in disc golf then. Boom, we're halfway. Look at that.
Nice.
Knocking it out. So, Fool's Fest. Alex, you played this weekend.
I did play this weekend, and felt pretty good about it at first. I recovered a lot of the mistakes from the past weekend. The pro side, I really struggled on the front 9, took a lot of bogeys there. And my first round, I was feeling pretty good about that. I struggled where I was doing well, unfortunately. So like the par 5s and some of the other par 4s, I, took pars or bogeys on, which I was a little bit disappointed with, but I made the adjustment on a lot of the front 9. So I ended up with a slightly better score. Last week, I shot a +1 and a +2. And this week, my first round was even for another 950 rated round. So I was feeling good coming off that Friday and then Saturday. But then round 2 came along, and I couldn't put things together. I was hitting trees left and right on open holes, and probably the biggest thing was hole 1. It was my second to last hole, and I hit 2 trees. I was past the yellow basket on my drive, and I took a 5 on the hole. No. Yeah. So I was past the yellow basket, standing in the mud, tried to forehand around a tree and hit it. Tried to do it again, hit a different tree, got a little bit too far for my putt, and then tapped in a 5. So
at least it wasn't a 6.
Yeah, at least it wasn't a 6. Yeah, it can always be worse in golf.
Yeah, they shouldn't go OB.
Yeah, so that ended up tying me for last cash. If I hadn't taken that 5, I probably would have been tied 13th, I think, instead of 19th, because there was just a whole bunch of people tied in those areas.
Yeah, 1 stroke.
Yeah, wouldn't have taken much to get me a bit more, but
yeah, par would have gotten you to 11th.
Last cash was last cash, so got there technically.
Okay. Yellow first round, white second round.
Whites all around. Same deal as last week.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So all in all, fun day. It was definitely windy. A little bit worse conditions, I'd say, than last week. That first round, it started off, there was like this weird half snow thing. Like it was snow, but it was immediately melting, so everything was just getting wet. That lasted for about a hole and then completely stopped, and then the sun started coming out and the wind started getting pretty heavy. But yeah, overall, really enjoyable weekends. Adam always puts on a good tournament. There was an exciting ending. They had a playoff for first place in MA1 that I believe just lasted the 1 hole, but it's exciting to see something like that.
Michael Tran and Robert Worrell.
Yep.
Very important question. What did you have for lunch, or did you still have Uncrustables?
Same deal. Uncrustables.
Man, those things have staying power.
I got to use them up. So, and I don't have any team challenge left to do it with. It's strictly not true. I have finals next week.
I was going to say, don't you have one more?
Yeah. But yeah, I've still got enough for finals, so I'll be all right.
But by then they might start forming a new crust. No.
You keep them in the freezer. They don't go
Recrustables.
Yeah, you keep them in the freezer. They won't go bad by then.
Did you guys ever have? I remember growing up, my mom had a tool to like crimp the crust off the sandwiches.
I've seen
it's called a knife
before.
It's called a mouth.
Yeah, you just eat them.
Yeah, I've seen that tool before, but I have never worried about.
It looks like a bell. Sandwich crust remover.
I think I know what you're talking about. My grandma always used to tell us that you need to eat the crust because it'll grow hair on your chest.
That's what my dad said about beers, but here it is. Wow, I sent a link in our Facebook chat, and it looks really ugly. But
Yep, that's exactly what I was picturing.
I forgot all about this thing. It used to sit on top of our oven.
Looks like it makes it into a hot pocket.
It literally makes it into an Uncrustable. I'm sure this is probably what they have at the Uncrustable factory, just like
They just make regular
sandwich. Yeah.
I want to make ravioli with that thing.
Right?
Yeah, maybe it works.
It seems like that would shave off too much of it.
Well, it's probably designed for a standard bleached white loaf of bread slice.
As a parent, you get to eat all the stuff you just cut off. So
True.
I'm cool with
but that's your whole lunch though, right? That's all you get.
The Amazon ad even has 4 steps to making DIY Uncrustable sandwiches further down in the About section. Wow, as if it was that hard.
Alex, did you know anybody who you played with?
I recognized a handful of names. I don't think I knew anyone going in. There were a couple of people who, played Team Challenge or something like that. But no, I don't think I knew anyone I played with. I saw a bunch of people around, Wedge team members, people who I knew by sight, but nobody I played with that I actually knew prior. But everybody was nice guys. Didn't have any problems. Everybody, was upbeat and reasonably good spirits for pretty much the entire time. So, yeah, nothing wrong with that.
Thank you. I was surprised that there were a good number of people on Friday at the course playing, but not many of them chose to play dubs. I saw Justin Muccelli.
Mm-hmm. The Mooch.
I saw him. I was on hole 16. We were going to white, and I threw to the right lane. I throw a forehand, hoping that, get most of the way down, probably around yellow, and then if it fades right, great. If not, just get it down there, So I throw my shot, and it hit the line perfectly, but it was only 2 feet off the ground. So it got 80% of the way to yellow. So I was like, okay, I went first, so I thought to myself, we're going to save the par, let my partner take his shot.
Sure.
And Justin walks up, and he was the second or third guy. We just said, go ahead and play through. And he hit a very early tree on the left.
Wait, what hole are we talking about?
16, the pinball alley.
Yeah.
And then he hit another tree about, 30 feet in front of him. And then he got down there and kind of finished out the hole. And we're walking down, and I'm like, that guy's pretty good. I'm feeling a lot better about my shot right about now.
You got to hit him with the, oh, no.
No, but he's standing there throwing in front of, 4 people. So between that and then you're always rushing, you know what I mean? Because you're like, I don't want to hold these guys up. So
yeah.
Well, and he was probably playing at his normal pace of 18 holes of golf in 45 minutes, so then he could fit 7 rounds in before it gets dark.
Well, before we started, I saw him on hole 8, so that was at least his second go around.
Yeah, I would say he definitely played at least 3 rounds. If I just had to guess, just knowing Dustin,
he came in 5th place, -2. Nothing wrong with that.
Which is funny. I don't know. Was it a Jomez practice round or something? They were walking with AB, and they asked him, or maybe it was Instagram reel, I don't know, if he ever gets tired after a round. He said no. And I, as a 33-year-old, there's no way that you play these big bomber courses all the time and aren't sore. But then again, I see Justin, who can literally play Mind Kill 2 rounds before the tournament even starts in the morning, and then play 2 more rounds in the afternoon. And yeah, he must not get tired.
Yeah.
It must be nice.
I was doing coursework at CTK one day, and I think he played 7 rounds, and no exaggerating, full 18 holes, 7 rounds.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Alex, does it ever drive you crazy that you're 5 off of having a 111111 as your PDGA number?
So I was conscious of it when I signed up. I was like, oh, the newest person is 111102 or something like that. And I'm like, I need to sign up for this tournament, and I don't want to play the extra $10. And, looking back, maybe it was worth it to try and wait for it. But I just knew if I got 111112, I would have been more upset. So I just went for it. I'm like, I am spending too much time worrying about this. I'm just going for it. It's close enough. And the 6th digit is 6. So it's not the weirdest thing in the world, but it's definitely something I was thinking about, but I'm not complaining about it.
Oh, that's fair. Anything else at Full Set?
Yeah, no, I like playing FTR a lot. It's a really good course.
Yeah. And you said you have Team Challenge finals next week, and you already know who you're playing?
Yep, we got Daisy first, and then whoever wins Tank versus Newton Hill. Well, assuming we win.
No, I like that.
Win,
you just assumed, depending on who wins, we play the winner. Yeah, no, that's cool.
Yeah. So if we win, we play the winner of that match. If we lose, we play the loser of that match. I think we can beat anybody there. Tank is going to be difficult to beat, but with 1 round, there's always an element of, figuring out your matchups. But when there's one round and you can do some people in doubles and some people in singles, for example, Randy and Tyler Calzada are, a classic doubles pairing for us. They get us a lot of points every time. So being able to, stack some of the doubles teams and then, switch up some of the singles teams, there's an extra element of getting the matchups correct. So there's always that chance that we can do something different against Tank now that it's a slightly different format. So I'm quietly confident, I think. I think we can do it. I'm not going to be, posting on Facebook saying we're going to go undefeated at finals or anything like that. But I think it's a possibility.
Anything to add to that, Randy?
No, I think you should post that we're going to the finals. No, I'm just worried we're going to go Daisy, Tank, and then Daisy again in the afternoon. I hate playing the same team twice in the same day. And when the result is different, you're just kind of depressed that you couldn't pull it off, even though you did it in the morning or... Because that happened to us, I think, 3 or 4 years ago. And it's tough.
Who does Tank play?
Tank plays Newton Hill.
So what if you went Daisy, Newton Hill, Tank?
So we're losing to Newton Hill or Daisy, I guess?
Yeah, no. You win your first one. Tank loses to Newton Hill.
Yes, likely.
So they're coming off hot.
And now you got to play Tank for moving up.
That would be surprising. But, it'd be interesting.
I just wanted to have it on audio so that when it does happen, you heard it here first.
Yeah, I'd like to see it.
I just think that would be fun. Your third round, you're fucking exhausted, and now you got to play Tank, who's pissed, who they just lost their match.
Yeah.
But, Jaimen, you're not in finals, but that's next weekend.
Yep.
I don't think we talked about it last week. Did you guys avoid relegation?
Yeah, so we are safe. My math was correct, but it didn't matter in the end because Mountainside beat Devons. So they both finished the season, one in everything else. Yeah, so we finished in 6th, which is all being told. That entire season rested on 3 matches. One match at 3 different matches. That doesn't make sense? Yeah, you know what I'm saying. One individual matchup at 3 different matches throughout the season was the difference between us going 2-5 and 5-2. So we had a much better season than our final standing looked like. But yeah, we're not relegated. Alex, I have one question about finals. I read on the captains group. Is it true that each team is paying $700 to play Maple?
Potentially. I want to say we're at $30 greens fees per person.
Okay. Yeah. So that's a lot.
Yeah. Well, I think it was supposed to be $20 and then they bumped it up to 30 or something like that, which I don't understand how that worked.
That's bad business practice.
Yeah, I'm not a fan, but yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah. I mean, it's also, it is an amazing course. It's just, that seems like a crazy amount of money. And it also seems like a crazy amount of money that nobody agreed to when they agreed to play the course.
Yeah.
But
the other thing I'm thinking about, it's probably going to be a nice day in April. Knock on wood. Please tell me it's going to be actually sunny and warm that day.
Yeah, because they always say nice days in April bring May flowers.
Right? Yeah. But Maple Hill gets, it's at $10 per person to reserve a team time. So they're going to be selling most of those tee times. They do one every 12 minutes or whatever it is with 4 people on each card. So you kind of got to think about it, or at least I think about it that way, where we're spending a little bit more than 2 tee times worth for everybody to get 2 rounds, which isn't insane. But yeah, it's still a lot.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's a lot of factors. The fact that they're selling tee times trickle start and you are not playing trickle start means that they can't sell a large block of tee times before you start as well.
Right.
I was wondering if that was an accurate number. $30 per person does seem a little bit steep, but it is Maple Hill. I was just more interested in it.
But there's going to be 4 teams playing, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, every hole is basically going to be
So
filled.
I'm curious what the math is. If you were to take 4 teams worth of people paying $30, what that total number is, and how much would Maple Hill potentially bring in if they weren't doing a team challenge day?
That total number, if there were 4 full teams, would be $3,000.
Yeah, so on a normal day, if they filled every time that they're open or whatever, how much money do they bring in? Because I would think that if they're bringing in $3,000 for greens fees, then why do they do the trickle start? Because doesn't that add a bunch of time to an already long ass day?
Yeah, I can't imagine them doing it that way. I'm looking up some stuff.
I don't know. I feel like the number of courses in New England Team Challenge that I feel like Maple Hill gets, obviously, I was like, oh, let's play Maple Hill, but it kind of adds a bunch of bullshit to do it that way. At least like when it was at Meadowbrook, you had the whole course and you could still do trickle start, and they had different layouts, which I think wasn't that like a controversy on Facebook, the finals locations for like C and D pool or C and
For this year?
yeah, C and B pool. Like C pool was playing at that Oakham course that we played at, right?
Yep.
And people were bitching that it was on the shorts.
Oh, yeah, that's Luke Sisu. He will bitch about anything he possibly can.
One of the other pools was like playing like Meadowbrook shorts,
Oh, yeah.
and people were complaining about it.
People will complain about anything. And especially when it comes to finals, they will start complaining about things earlier, is what I'm finding. So I just got on Maple Hill's website, and they have tee times going from 6 a.m. until their last tee time is at, it says 5:52, but that's ridiculous.
So 12 hours, basically. Damn, that's kind of a lot of...
That's like a midsummer tea time, though. Like,
Yeah, right. I don't think you could finish around if you started after 4 o'clock would even be pushing it, but I'd say 4 o'clock. And those tee times are every 8 minutes, by the way.
I'm curious, on average, what they would pull in on us on a Saturday. Like, obviously, I don't think they're filling tee times from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m.
I also just saw that there is a $5 walker fee for people who want to walk the course with people.
That's
Goodness.
insane.
That's phenomenal.
Sorry for this huge tangent, but like this is interesting. I looked at their tee time costs, and it gets cheaper as you go throughout the day.
Yeah, pre 9 a.m. is more expensive. And I'm guessing, actually, I don't know. Do they pay somebody? They probably pay somebody a little bonus to like show up early. Like, is their shift would have to start at like 6 a.m., which is not normal for like disc golf greens fee collector.
Yeah, I don't know. But before 9 a.m. is $30. I think per person. I just hit one person. But then 9 until 3 is 18. And then after 3 is 12.
Yep.
All just interesting stuff for everybody who's planning their Maple Hill trip.
Yeah, it just usually when you can almost guarantee them a certain amount of people at one time, you would think they'd give a discount.
And yeah, maybe that is a discount, but I would $700 a team, or whatever you said it was, Alex, like $30 a person. That didn't really scream discount to me. But after this brief research, maybe that is a discount. It just doesn't feel like one.
Huh?
Yeah, I mean, I wonder how long they've been doing that. But if they're charging those prices, it sounds like they're getting people to pay those prices. So
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. The other part of it is that it doesn't change the price regardless of how many people you say are playing. So if it's 4 people, it's still $30.
oh, interesting.
No, I think that's per person.
Are you on the website?
I am, but I'm not booking a tea time. I'm just looking at the like.
So
readout.
I'm going to the book year round and like going most of the way through the process.
Oh, gotcha.
And if I hit 1 or 4 players, it doesn't matter.
I'm just gonna book all the tea times right now for Saturday.
So that's even crazier than if it is only $30 for a tea time, and you said it gets cheaper throughout the day. Then I take that back. $30 seems like they're scamming Team Challenge. It's kind of like, you have a car problem and you call some mechanic and he gives you some outrageous price, not because he thinks you're going to pay. It's because he just doesn't want you to say okay. He doesn't want to do the job, or a contractor, or insert any other trades job here. Because I feel like I've heard that Maple Hill doesn't really like Team Challenge.
I mean, they do have 2 teams going at it. At least 2 teams that go out of Maple Hill.
I mean, I think in midwinter that is making them money, though. They're not getting that many people out in December. Well, they're really not getting anyone in December because of the Christmas tree farm. But, January, February, they're making money off those teams.
I wonder if it would be cheaper just to not tell them that you're doing it and then just book all the tea times.
I wonder if you'd be able to get through 3 rounds in a day doing it that way.
Yeah, the 3-round part kind of screws it up. But what I'm saying is if you book all the the tee times before 9 a.m. and then everybody starts at 9 a.m., it's like, and it wouldn't affect anything.
Arguably, you'd get done earlier because everyone would be starting at 9.
Yeah, but I'm also wrong on that on a lot of levels. So anyways, Maple Hill seems a little problematic, but it's obviously a great course. I'm glad that it's still being used for Team Challenge finals, but I just thought it was interesting.
I think it favors my game at least, so I'm happy we're doing it.
Anything else on New England? Any other tidbits or anything?
There is a really interesting situation if you want me to go over that quick, but it's in a pool that doesn't affect anybody in New York at all. So I can totally ignore that.
It's a fun
I
case
haven't
study,
looked at an
though.
update in a while after the recap post or whatever it was.
It sounds intriguing. So
I think it is.
Yeah.
Let me pull up the last synopsis that I saw. I'm just going to kind of read through one of the posts in the captain's forum. So this was calling a vote. It says that in the past week, it has been discovered that BSR 3, which is Bittersweet Ridge 3, the third team out of course, in Maine, made a roster move to add a player to the roster that had already been on another team's roster this season. This vote is to determine how to proceed with this situation. The results of this vote will not necessarily be added into the rules because some of the extenuating circumstances involved in the situation. The following are the relevant facts. The player was originally rostered by Woodland Valley Snowdiacs, and then the Snowdiacs dropped the player in January.
Did you mention what pool this was?
At least part of it is an F.
Okay.
That's the team that's affected. So the reason that's significant is Rule 2.3.1 is a player may only be rostered by one team per season. So all male players can only play for one team. If you're a female player, you can be called up to play in another team's as a fill-in, but you're not rostered. And I believe you can only go up in divisions for call-ups. You can't go down. So like somebody in the A pool can't fill in for a B pool team. I might be making that part up, though.
If you're female, you can't play for another team in your pool.
No, I think you can.
You can? Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that none of them ever would, but yeah, I don't think that's impossible.
I don't know about them Potses, though. They cross New York counts like crazy.
So, knowing that the player had played for the Snowdiacs, BSR3 asked a commissioner if the player could be added to their roster. The commissioner said as long as he is not on a roster, they can be added. But what I think happened is that BSR3 asked if a player could be added to their roster if he wasn't on another roster, but they didn't mention that he had been on a previous one. So I think the commissioner answered an incomplete question. But the commissioner said that as long as he is not on a roster, and the commissioner did not realize that they had already been on a roster this season, BSR did not phrase the question correctly. So BSR added that player to their roster and then played 3 matches with them. So the vote was, option 1 was to flip the player's wins to losses and add 2 penalty points per round played. The 2 penalty points will be added because the violation is comparable or worse than woman minimum violations and should carry a comparable weight. That's a weird way to word that, and I don't agree with that part. Option 2 is BSR3 will take technical forfeits for any match the player played in, changing the results of each of those matches to 18-0 losses. Okay, I'm not going to read the rest of that because there is an open parenthesis that doesn't end anywhere, and I don't want to figure out where it should end. And then option 3 is abstain from voting.
Option 2 seems harsh.
It's
Yeah.
Especially
very
when you guys
harsh.
do point percentage, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I get where they're coming from with it, just because from the way I read it, the captain knew that the player in question had played on a different team already. And I think it's pretty common knowledge at this point that if someone has played for another team, you can't play them. So it sounds like they intentionally phrased it wrong to the commissioner.
Oh, that's interesting.
That's a personal bias there for sure.
Okay, I hadn't picked up on that part of it, but I mean, it's possible. I know the commissioner in question who answered the question incorrectly based on all of the facts is a super nice person and would not ever mislead somebody or try to do anything improprietous, if that's a word. But yeah, so what happened is the league voted 74% for option 1, which is to flip the player's wins to losses and add 2 penalty points. And the result of that is BSR3 went from, I believe they had a 5-2 record. They might have had a 4-3 record, but they were in second place. And now they have a 3-4 record and dropped out of finals. So they went from second place to 5th place and are no longer in finals.
That's crazy. I love how, if you look at our chat, it's technical forfeits preceded by a sandwich cutter. We run the gamut here.
There was one comment on that thread that maybe I don't know, that said like the 2 penalty points per round might have been a little harsh, but I wonder how much that actually played into the wins or losses. Like, sure, yeah, the points percentage. If the wins that got switched to losses still happened regardless of the penalty points, then it didn't really matter.
It's like a double penalty is what you're saying.
Yeah. Like the double penalty feels almost kind of harsh if the team in question did it knowingly of the rules, then I guess the double penalty seems fine. But if it was like an actual honest mistake, well, that's not one you would make again. So
True.
Yeah. You know, I think that the tough part is you can't create rules based on intent.
Yep.
Kind of goes to a couple weeks ago when with the Caitlin Clay thing, she got to play against the dude and she got a half a point. It's Caitlin Clay though. You know, anybody else, that rule makes a lot more sense. It's just, you know, You can't make a special rule for her.
Yep.
Yep. I think something else to pay attention to is like you're not just setting a rule for this specific scenario. You're setting a precedent for if someone does this in the future. Even if the penalty points don't matter, then, it's kind of important to determine if there should be penalty points in case it happens again.
Yeah. Well, I would think if it happens again, then it should almost be harsher.
Yeah, because it's been established.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think what's going to happen this year with the captain's votes, I think, is there's a lot of rules that don't have any penalties are going to have penalties added to them.
I like that there's a numerical penalty versus just like you go to play-in pool, because like that's pretty brutal to be bumped all the way down. So like having a number attached to it and like the result represents that. I feel like in this instance, it was a pretty fair punishment where it was like you were in playoffs, now you're not, but you're also not getting relegated.
Yeah.
Assuming everyone didn't know that they were making a mistake, it feels like a fair punishment.
Yeah.
So I guess it just justifies it a little bit.
I like that they did add the thing about it's not going to apply the rule that if you forfeit 2 matches, you'll be banned for the rest of the season and not be invited back to the league. At least they threw that in there. Like, oh, we're not totally booting you.
Do we want to talk about the CPS Flex that happened on the same day as finals?
Oh, yeah, let's talk about it.
Absolutely.
Somebody made $30.
Hell yeah. Someone extended their cash streak to 2.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so past Saturday, same day as New York Team Challenge Finals, the people that didn't go to finals had the chance to play in the first DisCap Flex series tournaments. This one happening at Central Park, Schenectady. There was 129 players that were signed up for it, playing either the short tees or the long tees, depending on divisions. And I think there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 divisions represented. It was also a NIFA event, and I don't know who Seth Wilson is in NIFA or where he came from, but all of a sudden he's been very active on the NIFA Facebook page with kind of little backstories on tournaments coming up and then little
recaps.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool to see, New York getting shouted out in NIFA a lot. And we kind of have a lot of NIFA events anyways, but been very active in there. So anyways, yeah, 129 people played. It was a flex start, choose your own tee times, directed by Mike Schwartz.
Do you know you could do that, Jaimen?
Yeah, I'd never heard that.
Which is actually kind of funny because I'm going to have to mention it. I'm sure other people had the same opinions, but me and Jaimen have definitely said in the past that the problem with flex starts like this is you end up playing with your buddies, and then all of a sudden it seems like people take it less seriously. Not to try to be a narc or anything, but we're playing a tournament, so rules should still be followed. If you wanted to play a casual round, then I'm not really sure why you would pay to play in a tournament instead of just playing casually. So at one point I watched somebody throw multiple shots off the tee pad on a hole that has a Mando. So I assumed that they threw their second shot because they were re-teeing or something like that. So then when I go back and see their score reflects that they took a par when numerically it was impossible after throwing 2 off the tee pad. I had to basically...
Yeah, unless they aced on the second shot.
Yeah, I had a message Mike Schwartz, you might want to look into whatever happened on this card on this hole because it's kind of bullshit. It's literally a flex start tournament, and if you're going to not take that seriously, what else are you not taking seriously during the round? Are you making questionable OB calls? Things even as little as not using a marker. We're still playing a tournament, whether it's a flex start or not. It's still a C-tier sanctioned event, and the shit still matters. So it's a little frustrating to see, players kind of blatantly not make a mockery of it. That might be a little strong language, but not take it seriously. We're here to play a tournament. At the very least, you could respect the people that are there, the people that are hosting it a little bit more. I feel like if you don't get called out on it, then it's kind of a slippery slope. What else will you do during a round? So I already kind of have an opinion against flex starts for that reason. And then to see I don't know, it's probably my second or third one that I've played in, to just see the bullshit that I hope to avoid kind of happen is a little annoying. But anyways, so yeah, a lot of people showed out for it. The weather was mostly good until about 1:30. It started to sprinkle. So Brian Bickersmith and I and a guy from up your way, Jaimen, Jacob Dunbar, and another CPS kid, Tom Hutchison. We played on a card together. I played MPO. Brian played MP40. And by the time our tee time came around, both of our divisions, I think, were completely over. So we already knew like what we had to try to do to win. And then I believe Tom and Jacob both played MA1. So before my round started, I saw that basically Jacob Peters was in at 2 down. Ethan Haters was trending for a similar score. I don't know if he finished by the time I started, but he ended up finishing at 2 down. On my way to the park, I decided to go back to my olden days of hitting up Popeyes and getting a chicken sandwich and some Cajun fries before my round. And luckily, I think that and actually putting well helped me get to a 4 down round to win the series.
Nice.
I see Brandon Klein won MA3. Bastard. I mean, nice job, Brandon Klein.
Yeah, big field. 37 players, or 38 actually.
Yeah, because tied for 37. Nice.
I'm sorry, I was scrolling up. I'm like trying to don't mention Ryan Travis. He didn't do too hot. You know what I mean? Like
Ryan Travis struggled. Yeah, he was telling me, what did he say? It's kind of funny. He finished plus 12 overall, and through the first 14, he was only plus 2. So on the last 4 holes, he went plus 10. Yeah, the last. I'm pretty sure that's how that works out, right?
Something like that.
So I told him like that's impressive. Like that's not even like. He's like, yeah, honestly, I wasn't even mad.
Sparky Spalding won MA60. Mike Zanchelli came in 3rd in MA40.
Yeah, big MA40 field.
Yeah, Peter Lauber and Brian Batiste tied for 1st. Looks like Peter probably won in playoff.
They don't do playoffs because it's a flex start.
Oh,
Different tee
good
times.
point.
So they both get a win. And that's kind of what I was joking. When I saw that Ethan came in at 2 down, so him and Jacob were tied for the lead. I'm like, it would be funny if I also came in at 2 down and there was just like 3 people got career wins out of this. Just one of that.
Brian Bickersmith came in 3rd in MP40, playing pro.
Jason Gorsuch in 2nd, cashed, and Mike Thomas from the CNY area won that one.
Under par.
So the win is cool for me, and the money is only, whatever, small amount of money because it's a small entry fee. But what I'm kind of happy about is the NIFA points. Because you get like 70 points or something like that just for a win, regardless of how many people are there. And it's really funny seeing the NIFA point standings, which, like all like the top, I don't know if all the top guys in the New England area are in NIFA, but you have people like Dylan Capiccioli and Mark Chapalonis and stuff in there. And then when you see the current standings for NIFA and the MPO division, it lists me at the top. Of all
Hell yeah.
people. So like the current top 5 in NIFA for Pro Open is me, Sam Henderson, Justin Chu, Jason Lasasso, and then Dylan Capiccioli.
Nice.
And actually, a lot of the top people in the standings are New York people, local to DisCap.
Is it too early, or do you know where finals is?
I don't even know if that's been decided yet.
I thought it might be early, but I didn't know if some places might decide beforehand.
It rotates through by states, and just like thinking back on where it's been pretty recently, it might be back in New Hampshire this year.
Okay, so not too bad.
But
that's the last time I played was Killington.
Oh, yeah, nice. I was there. That was the year before New Hampshire. So maybe it's in Vermont.
Honestly, Jaimen, I just don't know between the 2 states. When I
No,
said
you're good.
Killington, I assumed that was in New Hampshire, but it's in Vermont.
Were the last 3 Maine this year? Before that was Mass at 501. Was it J Park before that?
And yeah, it was J Park before that. And then I want to say it was Connecticut. But like there's also like COVID in there that throws a whole bunch of wrenches in there. I don't remember going all the way back. I'm like looking at it going, all right, I played in MA2 in Vermont at Killington, and I played MA1 at Top of the Hill in New Hampshire. So that's how long ago, because there's a big group of states on that rotation. So
yeah, even some that aren't in New England.
Shh. This is always the time of the year in New England Team Challenge. Some asshole goes, is New York in New England?
I know New Yorkers who don't realize that we're not, so I don't.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's close enough. So, New York Team Challenge finals. Jason, how does finals work? Can you give us like an overview? Like you got the top 4 teams, who's playing who, and what are the rules? I'm sure we've gone over them, but how does that work? You split them, like some play match play, some play dubs. How does that work?
All right, so New York Team Challenge finals. The top 4 teams seeding from the season move on to finals. The first round is the first team is matched up against the 4th seeded team, and the 2nd seeded team is matched up against the 3rd. So the course is chosen towards the end of the season, the teams that aren't in finals, their courses become eligible, and the captains can nominate a course. They vote on it, or the commissioner determines it. This year, Christ the King was chosen. I think it ended up being an amazing venue for finals. The course was in great shape. Jaimen had everything taken care of ahead of time. They offered an option for players to buy lunches if they wanted to, which I got 2, and they were pretty good.
What'd you get?
I got the chicken Caesar wrap. I got 2 of them, and they came with chips, a cookie, and a can of soda.
Chocolate chip cookie?
Yeah, chocolate chip.
Heck yeah. All right.
It was good. I saved those for the way home. Get some sugar. So first round is 1 and 4 and 2 and 3. And then the winners of those for round 2 go on to determine who's going to be the champion. And the losers of those 2 go on to decide who's going to be in 4th place. In the past, we've followed the New England format, which is there's a 3rd round where the 1 and 1 teams play a 3rd round to determine 2nd and 3rd.
But Randy didn't like that.
I did not like
There
that.
was quite a bit of feedback in the forum last year that people thought 3 rounds was too much. So we tried changing it this year to just use the seeding from the season to determine 2nd place, which didn't work out very well for Mindkill. We went in as the 3rd seed, heading loose to Wilcox and CPS. And even though we beat the Central Park Rosebuds in finals, they were still given 2nd, we were given 3rd. But it did put a lot more emphasis on the seeding for the season, which I think makes a lot of sense because, we play all winter long. We play 7 matches basically. And for it just to determine the top half that goes to finals and nothing else really matters, I felt like the seeding really had an emphasis on your advantage going into the finals.
Well, I think it makes a lot of sense what you were saying. Your last match against Wilcox, it was an important match.
Yeah.
And otherwise it might not have been.
And you could get into situations in the season where a team really has no incentive to play. Like if they know they're already in finals, whether they win or lose, they're going to show up really late. There's no reason for them to try to get a 2nd seed over a 3rd because they're playing the same team either way.
Yeah. At that point, the only thing that matters is getting your 3rd match so you're eligible. That's really the only thing you'd have left.
Yep. This one, if you get 2nd place, you're in a much better spot than 3rd and 4th. So anyway, that's how the format worked this year. So we only had 2 rounds. The other advantage to having a better seed is when we do matchups, we change the charter so that the captain that has the better seeded team gets to choose who puts up first. And then finals is a mix of doubles and singles matches. So the singles matches are match play and the doubles are stroke play. And based on the number of players that show up, it's split almost evenly. So with a full roster of 18, there are 5 double matches and 8 singles matches. Singles matches are worth 1 point, doubles are worth 2, very similar to the rest of the season.
Just you as a team captain, what's your strategy going into that?
So my strategy as a captain, it's very complicated because there's a lot of different things that can happen. Like not only do you have to worry about whether they're going to put players in singles or doubles, but when you consider the women's card, then it gets very complicated because there could be women in singles, there could be women in doubles, there could be women in mixed. So lots of different options there. I was trying to get our women in singles, but the way the matchups were going, I just couldn't do that. They end up playing doubles both times. But I also tried to put some of our middle players in singles and assemble like the top and the bottom more in doubles. But honestly, as the matchups were going on and they were throwing up things, you kind of have to adapt on the fly and really change your strategy. You can't go in there with like a plan and not have any flexibility or you'll just get outmatched. But so that was kind of my strategy. I kept it loose. I had some scenarios in a spreadsheet of, what I would do in different cases.
So just to clarify, if me and you were the 2 captains and I throw out first, I could throw out a doubles and then you match my doubles, then you go, right?
Yep. And I could throw out a singles or a doubles.
So it's not like you do one and then the other. Okay.
Yeah. Usually if you put out first, you're at a disadvantage because then the opposing team can, put somebody that's just a little bit better than them.
Mm-hmm.
So my strategy going in was I started off with more of the singles, which I thought worked out well. But then Wilcox, they came in throwing out doubles pretty early in the matchups, which caught me a little off guard. And so I had to adapt a lot of our matchups to accommodate that so we didn't lose all the doubles matches. It was really close. I was glad that we got some retribution against Central Park. Wilcox is a very strong team. And I got to congratulate them for taking it down. Their roster is very solid from top to bottom. They have all solid players, so it's tough to beat them. And they went undefeated all season, and I think they earned it.
Who did you play in the first match? against CPS, singles or doubles?
I played doubles both rounds. The first match I teamed up with James Scow. We played Jake Vandelin and Anthony Bohansky. That was a good card. We were like losing pretty bad. I think we were down 3, and we ended up birdieing like 4 holes at the end to tie it, and we went to a playoff. And we played a few holes. We played 18, 1, and we were going to 2. And this was the first match. I'm like, it was already like close to 1 o'clock or maybe later. And I was like, it's, we're missing lunch and we're going to delay the second round. Does this match even matter? And turned out it didn't. So we just agreed to push and split the points.
I was wondering about that. Okay. In a finals, same rules as during the regular season. If it's doubles, you'll keep going. If it's singles, it's a push.
Correct. Yep.
Okay. What were the course conditions like?
There was some wind. I don't think it was like outrageous compared to some of the windstorms we had recently. I thought overall the course conditions were pretty good. There was very little snow, if any. I don't remember much snow. A little puddle here and there, but overall pretty dry. Some muddy spots. But for the first weekend in April, I honestly thought that the course was in great shape.
Yeah, because there was a bit of snow, a little concern, right?
Yeah, there's some people concerned about having to play in snow and winter team challenge. So, but I think there's actually more snow at my house down. I'm closer to J Park than there was when I got up to Christ the King.
Jaimen, any truth to the fact that you went out with one of those strap on your back leaf blowers and got all the snow off the course the night before, or no?
No, it was actually a hairdryer and an extension cord.
Okay.
He did like get all the polar bears to muster up more north, though.
I do just have to say something about, this is the same Jaimen who was complaining about the no wimps, no whiners for Ice Bowl. And,
Yep.
And now he's going with don't complain about the snow in April.
Yeah, no, I will say that I take issue with the no wimps, no whiners in the Ice Bowl because that happens in February when the temperatures can hurt you. The conditions the day before the match could not have hurt you. And there was no danger in playing in a slightly blustery 44-degree day.
Yeah, you were talking about not feeling your fingers, not like a dusting of snow.
Yeah.
I totally understand where you're coming from. I just had to point it out.
Yeah, I thought about that an awful lot myself, Alex. I was like, am I being a hypocrite?
Well, you had to take into account people's feelings too.
Actually, there's this TLA in Team Challenge. That's FYF. I'll let you figure out what that one means.
Yeah, right. TLA, I learned that means in their 3-letter acronym, which is an acronym of an acronym. And then fuck your feelings.
Jaimen, did you play singles or doubles?
I played doubles both rounds.
Okay. How'd you do?
Did pretty well. First round, I played with Michael Young, which was a lot of fun. I believe that's maybe the second time we've played doubles together. He's a super nice guy from Binghamton. Haven't played with him very much, but it was super nice to play with him. Yeah, no, we did good. We pushed it into a playoff. I can't remember all the circumstances. It was a very long day, but we won on hole 16 in the playoff, our first hole. And that was against Chris Dahl and Jeremy Whitaker. They were playing pretty well. Jeremy was saying all day ham and eggs, and they were like, when one of them had a great drive, the other one didn't, and they were just constantly picking up each other's slack. But we were able to win it in the playoffs, which was nice to go into lunch that way. The second round, I played with Marcia, which is always a lot of fun, and we played Christina and former teammate Justin LaMarche, and we once again pushed it into a playoff, playing mixed at CTK. A lot of those holes, the drive is very, very heavy on me just because of the distance on some of them. And I really kind of let Marcia down on a few of the holes. I went OB on 9 twice. So luckily she was in bounds both of those times. Yeah, just didn't play the best in the open holes and gave Justin and Christine way too many chances. We pushed it into a playoff again. We both tried to make a birdie putt on hole 5 from inside of the puddle to win outright. Neither of us did. And that playoff went 8 holes. And we lost it on hole 13. But I think on our third playoff hole, we heard Wilcox hooping and hollering and realized that it didn't matter too much. But I was determined to give it my all regardless, make the numbers look a little bit closer, but we weren't able to get it in the end.
You said you played with Marcia?
Yep.
And Jason, you played with Jess. Was that like a strategy, or was that how Team Challenge works with finals where the mixed is there penalties, points, anything like that?
So Mindkill, we have a unique situation where we were using a woman in one of our men's spots. So Jess was filling in a men's spot. So our mix was technically like a men's card.
Okay.
And the matchups pretty early, Wilcox threw out the double women card, which left the mix. And they had also thrown out the mix card. So I matched Jaimen and Marcia against Justin and Christina.
And it looks like you and Jess got Bart and Nick, who wrecked Randy a few weeks ago.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. That guy, I mean, Bart was playing like insane. He was hitting every single putt. They eagled hole 14, which I didn't even, I mean, that's a tough birdie. I didn't even think it was eagleable. But yeah, they shot really well. They left a few out there. We did pretty good to start. I think through like the first 9 holes, we were tied. You know, we had taken the box from them a couple of times, but then they just had so much momentum after that. And they got like an eagle in the midst of like 6 other birdies. And we just couldn't keep up. But it was kind of a foregone conclusion. I put myself and Jess out thinking that Wilcox would kind of do like either a more comparable match. I didn't think they were going to put Bart and Nick against us, but they did. And we gave it our all and wasn't even close.
Sounds like they were scared.
Yeah. I mean, they just probably don't know how I've been playing very poorly recently. So
that's always something that's like a little bit of I don't know the word I'm thinking of. It feels okay if you're getting crushed because it feels like they wasted a good player on you, if that makes sense.
It's like an honor to just be like crushed, I think. Like that.
Exactly. Like they thought you were either threatening enough to put somebody really strong against you, or you're making them waste somebody who was really good when they could have done somebody who was not quite as good and probably still beat you.
They got to be 2 of their top players.
Yeah. I've also said like a good strategy when you do matchups is if you're putting the person or the team out, you want to put out people that have a really high standard deviation, basically that could shoot, you know, a really poor round or a really amazing round. You don't want to put out your consistent players. And so Jess and I are very like, especially right now, we could have done horrible or we could have done really great. In the past, we've taken out MPO fields in tournaments, but we've also done very poor. So putting us out there, I mean, maybe they were a little scared, or I don't know, maybe they just really wanted to beat me, but it was fun.
Nothing wrong with that. So Randy, what did you play? I'm looking for you here. You played doubles in the first round?
Yeah, so I played with Tucker Middleton, which I've been playing like against him for like my whole PDGA career, it feels like. So it was really nice to like play doubles with him. And yeah, in the first round against CPS, we played against Mike Wiest and Tim Giardini. So before playing any holes, I was like, this is going to be kind of a battle. Like this was a really good matchup. The only confidence I had was just because of the open holes in the wind. I felt like I had a small advantage. And I'll just skip to the end. We beat them by 3 strokes, I think. And pretty much those 3 strokes came down to 2 wide open windy holes where we were able to just take pars or birdies, and they struggled. So that's really the only difference. So that felt like a pretty good win.
Did Tucker show any of his putting expertise that I saw at SPW or no?
During the round, he was like basically giving me too much credit. But on the very the second hole we played, we were at 40 feet for birdie, and they were like under the basket. And like I ran my putt and hit the cage, and then he just drained the putt. And I think that literally set us up just to play confidently the whole rest of the round. Because if we had lost on like, not lost, but, you know, we gave up this like on the second hole in the woods, I feel like it might have gotten in our heads like, ooh, they're better woods players or something like that. But he drained that putt, and then we just cruised the whole rest of the round and either matched them or beat them. I think they only took a couple holes on us. We maintained that like 3 to 4 stroke lead almost the whole round. So yeah, he putted well.
You were the only one here who played singles?
Yeah, I played singles in the afternoon, which maybe it's not the first time ever, but in all of my team challenging, I feel like in finals, I'm always on a doubles team. So that was kind of surprising. And I don't know how like writing on the board works, but I was in the bottom. So I don't know if I was like saved for the end or something like that.
If only we had a captain here who could tell us.
Traditionally, that is how it works.
My strategy was to try to push mix cards against Wilcox. So I had you and Kat, but then they threw out the women's doubles pretty early, and I was kind of like scrambling.
Yeah. So in the second round, I was singles, and on my card, it seemed like one of those calculated win losses. Like the other 2 on my card was probably going to be won by Wilcox. And then for my matchup, it seemed like I was supposed to win that. So it kind of played out that way. we were the very first group done, like wrote our scores down. And then I got to go get a beer off of Ryan Nelson and watch a bunch of people play. So that was nice. And then I went and met Kat after she finished her round, and we grabbed the car and we were driving back over to the gazebo to like see what was going on. And as we're like pulling in, we see everyone from Wilcox like jumping up and down and hugging. And we're like, oh, like we just lost. Let's just go home. So like we just turned the car around and drove. And we get all the way home. And I open the back of the car and I realize my bag is not in the car. I left it up there.
How far of a drive is that?
It's like an hour.
Okay.
So luckily, Jason and Jess were still there, and they have my bag now.
What 3 discs were you hoping were still in your car?
That's like the first thing that played in my head. I was like, oh no, it's real. This can happen. Except every single disc and my vest were left behind. So I'm going to have to get that back before this weekend's finals.
Yeah, I hope so.
At least you knew you had your car keys.
Yeah, it's all Kat. She had everything.
So Wilcox beat Saratoga 13-4. Minekill beat CPS 13-5. What was the final?
What, we lose by 6?
Yeah, I think 6-12.
Yeah, I count 12 for them.
Yeah, okay, so 12-6. Randy, I'm going to ask you this question first, but I want to get everybody's opinion, including Alex and Corey. Do you prefer the 2-round Team Challenge finals or the 3, and why? Because you've played both now, right?
Yeah, so I absolutely prefer 2 rounds. And I get that because there's relegation and promotion in New England, it deserves the 3 rounds. But because there's no like real repercussions, like a $20 repercussion in New York, I just don't think it's worth it. But the big benefit, I think, is that there's no time cap on the round. So when we only play 2 rounds, everyone gets to play the whole round. There's that chance for comebacks, chance for playoffs. If we had to do 3 rounds, there should be a time cap. So that means people that are able to just like play clean early and don't need a warm up, like they can capitalize on that. And like the round is potentially over in like 12 holes, because that's happened in New England for me, where I've been, there's a time cap. You don't even play close to a whole round. So I'm all for the 2 rounds. I am fine with CPS getting there second place, even though we beat them. Like, no big deal. They had a different group of people playing in finals than they did during the regular season. So I don't know. For me, it's like no big deal.
When you say they had a different group, was it markedly different?
I think they came in like pretty much minimum. They had some injuries. Like Dave Hudson was injured. Like he couldn't play. I think they had somebody playing injured just because they needed the roster spot. So they had somebody playing with like a bum shoulder.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
The only thing that I really noticed that I thought was a little bit weird is for the people who lost round 1, like if you're the 3 seed, if you're playing like 3 versus 4 in the second round, that match no longer matters.
I mean, it didn't matter either way because like Central Park was basically locked in unless we won out.
Oh, so even if Central Park lost, they would have still finished second? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. So the only scenario that would have hurt CPS was us winning out for the day.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you're the 3 seed and you don't win both, there's no chance of ever getting second.
Yep.
Which I feel is a little bit weird.
Yeah, but like I got to drive home during like daylight, and I don't know.
Which is also a benefit. So the thing that comes to mind as a possible solution is maybe second place gets split between second and third. That prize gets split, but that also would end up taking either you get, significantly less for second place, or you take away some from first place to make that prize a little bit more equal. It's definitely not a perfect solution, but that just feels a little bit weird to me.
It does seem weird for sure. Is it really? It's $20, right? Is somebody correct me?
I want to say everybody gets their like entry back for second or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to brag, which isn't bragging at all, and say that until this year, I've been on the second place team every single year. So I haven't thought about the money part of it because I got my money back or whatever. But it's like $20 versus playing in the dark or playing like a partial round during finals.
Yeah, and generally when I'm playing, I'm not playing to win money. I'm playing for the prestige of winning. So no, it personally wouldn't affect me, but yeah.
Because there's no relegation promotion, it's definitely just like, you're not first, you're last. Like that's how finals basically is. Like second place is just a pat on the back and you get your $20. Right. So I'm not hurt about getting third place.
It just occurred to me. Jason, I didn't give you $20 this year, did I?
So actually, the way that New York works is a team fee. So Mind Kill's been neutral. We haven't had to, I've just been rolling it over. And because it's complicated when you factor in like people that are alternates and filling in, we don't charge per player. So every team that plays in New York has to pay $400. $300 goes to payouts, $100 goes to the league fund. And then like the league fund just rolls over. So we didn't use any discretionary spending. So actually just sent something out to the captains group. There is $407 in the league fund right now. So that'll roll over to next year. And if assuming there's 8 teams, there'll be like $1,200 in the league fund that can be used for finals.
Okay.
And yeah, so first place, Wilcox is getting $1,800 and second place, CPS is getting $600.
Jason, now having basically experienced your worst nightmare with the seedings, what are your thoughts?
So, there is this weird situation, but there's also the same weird situation that can happen at the end of a season where if the second and third seeded teams, have a match to decide that doesn't matter at all either if you go the other way. So I kind of like it.
Like we were talking about earlier, either the end of the season doesn't matter or finals, the second match of the 2 other teams doesn't matter. So there's going to be a match that doesn't matter either way is what you're saying.
Yeah. And I think that in early April, 2 rounds makes more sense than 3. I think it feels weird and it feels wrong because just most people are used to New England and it's just very different than New England. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. I'm kind of torn on it. There's just this weird situation that comes up. The other thought is like maybe during finals, the second and third always play. If the third beats the second, then, they would, Alex was saying they would split it, or you could do first, second, third payout so that there is some incentive for the third place team. The other incentive too is for the seeding, and this is 1 through 8. If there's any kind of bye month or like scheduling for the following season in the charter, the bye month is determined by the previous season seeding. So there is some incentive to try to get a better seed.
All right. Corey, do you have any opinion either way?
They said the 3 rounds makes more sense in New England Team Challenge. It does seem kind of pointless in New York. I don't really know what you would do to make it more worthwhile to have like a third round.
Well, a third round, it sounds like, Jason, you were talking about it getting, like you were worried about the second round. Would a third round been even feasible this past weekend?
Yeah, I think when we did it in the previous years, what we said was, because it was at J Park, that if there wasn't enough time, they would play whites. So we could do that at CTK too. They could probably just go to the Reds.
That's fair.
But we were behind schedule off the start, which another thing we should have clarified was that when Saratoga and Wilcox did their matchups, they put a sixum together because I think Saratoga was short 1 player, which you do not want to do when you have an entire course full of people. They should have split them up. So in the middle of the round, they did, and things sped up. But I think that delayed us, so we got done with the first round kind of late.
Finals for New England Team Challenge kind of means more to like everybody that's there. New York, it's different. It'd be cool if like, I don't know, I wasn't really at finals, so I guess I don't really have first-hand knowledge this time, but...
Have you ever been at finals?
The second year that J Park won. Yeah, because the first year I did not play for J Park.
Okay, so there have been 3 years and you were there once.
I was there once, yep. Back then it was like 3 rounds, and yes, even then, like the third round didn't really matter to a lot of the people that were there, so... I don't know. You're not going to be able to come up with a perfect solution when there's no relegation and stuff going on.
Well, that's why I saved Jaimen for last. Jaimen, what's the perfect solution? No pressure.
That's I think asking people who are not directly involved with the results of it.
Yeah, that's fair.
I had this conversation with Jason. I was like, man, that's a stupid rule. But then like by the end of my sentence, I was like, but it's actually kind of fine. It's just like, I think if it hadn't affected me personally, I probably would have a different outlook on it. But yeah, no, I don't know what the perfect rule is with all that. But yeah,
I think it's just something you keep it in mind, and then it can become an issue in the future. But right now, it works.
Yeah, no, I think it works. I like that it adds some significance to the regular season. It kind of puts a little bit more frustration on the matches that we didn't win earlier. That was the third match this year that's come down to a playoff on some level, I think, right? That's our CPS one came down to a couple playoffs.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That reminds me, one thing I do think we should change next year for New York Team Challenge is the points percentage should be the tiebreaker as opposed to head-to-head.
Yeah.
New England did that, and honestly, the more I think about it, it just makes so much more sense.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Not because Minekill had a higher point percentage, but because the home course and away course factor is a huge part of who wins and loses, and the points percentage seems like it averages that out better.
Like Jaimen was talking about, there was that one team in Team Challenge that just seemed to have everything go their way this past year.
Schedule-wise, yeah.
They had all the tough matches at home or neutral. So it sounds like, Jason, you're looking to step down as team captain to be replaced by the current commissioner. So drama.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I don't want to say it's drama, but...
I don't know. I do.
Sensationalized journalism.
Yeah, we both have a lot of different roles in the local disc golf community. We do a lot of stuff, and I don't know, I think my time's up with captaining Minekill. I've been feeling a little bit more frustrated with some of the captain's chats than normal, and Jess is probably better dealing with some of that stuff. And at the same time, I'm looking forward more to just playing, and I want to focus on New England Team Challenge a little bit more next season. And so I'm looking forward to it. And Jess is like very eager to take the reins. She's like already like planning stuff. Yeah, she's going to do great.
Is she more eager to take the reins of Minekill or release the reins of commissionership?
I think she's more excited to lead Minekill. The commissioner's thing, that's I think she enjoyed doing it, but when you do a lot of stuff, I think it's better to do fewer things with quality than to just do quantity. And so she's focusing on the right things. And so far, it seems like I think she's probably going to be able to find a good candidate to take it over. And I think next season will be, even better than it has been.
Is there already a name in place? That's what it sounds like. You don't have to say who it is, but...
I don't want to steal any thunder from her, but there was like over a dozen people nominated, and I think one or two of them are very clear candidates. So
nice.
Yeah, I'll let Jess, announce that. Unless she didn't announce it already, did she? Because I
don't know.
No, the only thing that's been posted is one person has been, somebody said you for president, but I don't know. It's you can take the honorary president role and let somebody be the commissioner, I guess.
Well, the president would be able to anoint the commissioner, I would imagine.
The prime minister.
Prime Minister of New York Team Challenge.
And then Jackie posted publicly that she wants to nominate Kate Clay, but that is all just, nothing substantiated or doubled or anything like that.
Yeah, I think Kate would be excellent person for commissioner. So yeah, I expect Jess will make some kind of announcement about that. Maybe by the time this airs, I don't know.
A lot of things happen by the time this airs.
Yeah, we're closing out a lot of stuff. So we were we're processing the payments to the captains, updating all the stats, wrapping up a lot of loose ends. So hopefully everything will be wrapped up this week, and everybody can focus on next season, which I've heard there's going to be a lot of shakeups with the team. So I'm interested to see that too.
Any drama? I'm all about the drama, Jason.
I'm curious, Corey, what are you hearing in your position on J Park? What's it looking like over there?
So I think Brian's going to be taking over the team, and I feel like, it depends what's happening with the potentially proposed prospect team. Is next year going to be the year they finally do it, or are they not? So I feel like if Prospect Park stands a team up, that's going to pull a few people from a few teams and a couple people from other teams possibly. So there'd be a kind of a big shakeup across the league if that team gets added.
Who's the team captain for J Park currently?
Alex Hellenick.
And why would he not be?
I don't know. He's like, he thinks he has a kid now that he can just drop all of his other responsibilities.
His plan is to still stay on the team, just not be captain.
That part I'm not sure of. I think Harry Lehman, Jason's mechanic, also kind of did some co-captaining, but I think he also, I'm not really sure. I think he also wants to do more New England Team Challenge next year. So I don't know if he's going to be playing New York. But Brian seems all gung-ho to lead the team, which I'm sure will just mean that there's more spreadsheets and stuff. But yeah, I'm not really sure. I think there's a lot of questions on the J Park roster for next year. So I don't know. Well, yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, I think that'll have ripple effects too with the other teams. We saw that in the past. One shakeup kind of affects half the teams in the league usually.
That would bring us to 8 teams, right?
9.
9?
Yeah, we're at 8 right now.
That sounds illegal.
So yeah, there's ways to have odd number of teams. What's happened in the past, at least, is it always looks like we're going to have another team, but there's the same amount of people in the league. So by the time they all like move around and find out where they're going to go, it goes back down to 8. But that said, it is growing slowly. There could be a ninth team, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, I want to see like one less match in the winter. Like, I don't really want to shove in a neutral match, and I would rather have like 2 4-team pools with like 2 crossovers. I know there's got to be some situation in sports that has already set that scenario up where you play within your pool, and then like the top teams do crossover matches, or some sort of seeded crossover matches happen later in the year, and then that like creates actual seeding for the whole league.
And maybe those are your neutral matches so that nobody's traveling too far.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we have like a north and south or something.
Yeah, we looked at like when we had 7 teams, different possibilities. One way to do it is if you have more than 8. I don't think you can add more matches in. It's just like March is already too full. And if you try to find another neutral match somewhere, it's just not going to be able to find it. So I think we need to do is you draw a circle basically in the region of all the teams.
If there was only a disc that had that circle.
Yeah. You map out all 9 courses, you find their centroid, and then it's a clock. And so basically 1 through 9 on the clock, and each team would play the 2 teams on the left of them and the right of them if you want to do 4 matches, or 3 on the left and 3 on the right. So it keeps them all in the region. Nobody has to travel too far. And yet as you go around the clock, pretty much it works out that there's enough intermingling that it kind of works out statistically. I did some spreadsheets to like assume that there's a 1 through 9 ranking and how they would pan out, and it comes pretty close. So I think you could do that with any number of teams. And then you'd have like regions, like the Northeast, Mohawk. But that's one way to do it.
Yeah. My current thought is trying to figure out 3-team pools. Play each team in your pool once home and once away, and then 1 crossover for each other pool. That would be neutrals. That adds up to 6 matches.
Sounds like Randy's dream.
Yeah, the issue with that is though, like if you're having a finals still, that it's possible the best teams won't be in finals.
Well, there'd be a wild card.
1 from each pool and a wild card. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, there could theoretically be, a second round of playoffs. Nah, that's probably too much.
The most important question, Jason, is the centroid a disc?
Jason said like a centroid as if we all know what that means.
Yeah.
Centroid is the middle point of a shape. So, like, if it's an irregular shape, it's not just the exact middle, but, the general middle, depending on areas and stuff. It's weird.
Do you see it expanding anytime soon? The region, like to include others, like further south, like an FDR team potentially?
I think that there's a possible way that could happen. The hard part is, even in our region, getting players to commit to doing it and then like figuring it out is tough. Like if they were just established, I think it would totally work out, but getting to that point is the
I think Wilcox would almost have to be the impetus for it. You know what I mean? Wilcox having too many people being interested in playing for Wilcox. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like the fact that they won, like now they have a bargaining chip, like, hey, you should play New York Team Challenge. We just won, come join our team. And now they got too many. So almost they have to be the arbiters of that. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there.
Make Wilcox into the BSR of New York Team Challenge, where they've got 3 teams playing out of Wilcox.
They have enough holes. It could be like a Wilcox Hatchet Beach.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah. We could have J Park North, J Park South, Wilcox Hatchet, Wilcox Regular.
Bakersmith's got a spreadsheet for that, so don't worry about it.
Yeah.
I'm like terrified of captaining a team, like doing those matchups. It sounds... I would have this whole plan like worked out, and then they'd throw something weird at me and I'd like give up, and I don't know.
It's miserable.
Yeah.
Finals is super hard.
Yeah. Finals is really hard, but then the other part of that is that after you do matchups, you just get to walk around the rest of the day thinking about how you messed up and how it's all your fault if your team doesn't do well.
Yeah.
I picture over time, like New York Team Challenge, or I guess every Team Challenge, New England maybe more so, having coaches that don't play. Because like when I show up to these, it's my job to just go win a match. And like that's all I have to do today. I don't know how you play and do matchups. It sounds terrible.
Not as well. That's for damn sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can kind of count on a little bit of a loss of efficiency in the captains.
Until everything's over, you got nothing. You don't know anything, because you could feel like you fucked up and still end up winning and be like, oh, that worked out well. You know what I mean? like Randy said, doesn't seem like there's any awesome,
Yep, I had a matchup with doubles that I did one time that I thought I did a really good job, and then all of the teams that I thought would win lost, and then all of the teams I thought would lose won.
Nailed it.
Yeah, the team won, but it was like, what? How? Like, it's especially in doubles, it gets hard.
Yeah, sometimes people are just playing hot, You can never predict these things.
Yeah.
The thing I shared was before Tower Power joined. That was when we had 7, and I thought we were going to do this circle idea.
Oh, is that what the blue dots are? Those are all the teams?
The blue dots are courses, the red dot is the center.
Okay. The centroid, Alex.
Yes.
Centroid.
Yeah. Because it's an irregular shape.
And so that's the circle that it would make. And so basically as a clock, you'd play, I forget how it works out, but you can use that to play the teams closer to you on the left and the right.
Imagine the amount of work that went into this. It wasn't even you.
And nothing happened. Yeah. Then Tower Power came out of nowhere. Like it was like, hey, we found enough people. And then they're like, all right, we got 8 teams. Let's go back to normal.
Thanks, Kevin.
Yeah, he made things easier. We had avoided a lot of headaches.
Yeah, but you still did work on it.
Yeah, because odd number of teams suck when you're trying to figure out logistics.
Anything else on Team Challenge? Anything I'm not thinking of?
Good riddance.
Yeah,
It's been a long season. No, I'm just kidding. It was a great season, but I was thinking about it. I was like, I've played every match this season, and I'm tired.
So 7 for New York and 7 for New England, Jaimen, for you?
Yeah, and finals. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, so 14. But yeah, that's... Alex, are you in the same boat?
Yep, I played all 7 for each New York and New England.
All right. So next week will be your 13th? Or I said 15th, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
No, I was 100% with you on the math for a second there.
No.
But yeah, 15th.
So Alex, I'm curious now, because at the beginning of the New York Team Challenge season, Josh and I were proponents of lowering the matches down a couple. And you and others were like, you wanted to see the full 7. Now that we're like at the end and we've gotten through March and you're doing New England and New York, do you still feel the same way?
So on my end, I enjoy playing disc golf. And that's the only concern I have to worry about. My mom is on the same team as me for both teams, so that's half the driving responsibilities. Potentially my sister as well sometimes. Yeah, so like the things that I have to worry about with it, I'm doing captaining stuff, but I'm just worried about playing disc golf. So if I'm just looking at my own experience, I'm happy with the 7. But, with the scheduling for the neutral match and, tracking down subs and things like that, I can definitely see where people are coming from for 6 or fewer matches. So I understand the other point of view a little bit more, for sure.
I would almost think if you had like one less match, at least for New York. New England's so spread apart, you got to do what you got to do. But for New York, if you guys had one less match, you would have a perfect late in the season, maybe the week before finals, and have a makeup day.
Yeah, I think that's what we used to do when we had 6, right? Or however many teams we had.
Yeah, at one point we had 7 teams and we did that.
Yeah.
Once a year being able to say, hey, the weather's not looking great for this weekend. I mean, it's playable, but you know what? Let's take a risk and try this other day. At least have that flexibility.
Yeah.
Otherwise things can get pushed, and I don't know. That's just me from the outside.
Yeah, and I think most of the feedback is people like the full 7 rounds, but I'm biased because we always have to struggle to get babysitters and other things.
You know what? If nobody cancels any, have it like every team just shows up at the same place and, have like an all-star week, like where everybody just mingles and, I don't know. I'm just making shit up as I go. But
if we do end up doing pools, doing like an all-star weekend would be kind of cool.
Oh my God. Yeah. North and South all-star weekend. Yeah. Phenomenal.
That would be cool.
So I got a quiz. Randy, who's your partner? You got the fewest points.
Why'd you have to say it like that? I'm going to go Corey, and I just want him to.
Hell yeah. Team Candy, baby.
Somewhere. Ooh, let's go.
Candy.
I just saw on the Facebook group somebody's asking for a shout out for a tournament.
Yeah, feel free. I'll do the whiteboard and you do that.
Sure. So it's looking like Josh Noga. Don't recognize the name.
From the Central New York area.
Yep. Is advertising the Sleepy Hollow Showdown, which is a fundraiser for the Humane Society of Rome. I'm assuming that's Rome, New York, not Rome, Italy. Looks like Sleepy Hollow Disc Golf Course in Rome, New York. Sunday, August 18th, annual charity disc golf tournament.
You're talking about the Hudson Valley. I thought you were talking about like DisCap or something.
No, yeah. I'm just, somebody posted on the
Facebook page.
Podcast group. Yeah.
Any relation to Andrew?
Andrew.
His name's Ryan Fish.
Oh, Maybe.
Isn't that the guy's name,
Could be.
Andrew Fish?
Yeah.
Andrew, yeah.
Mhm.
I was trying to be in the know.
Yeah, I was not in the know. That was the problem.
Oh,
Sleepy Hollow. I've never heard of this course. I'll have to check it out next time I'm out that way. That's exciting.
It's Sleepy Hollow Golf Course.
Yeah.
So I think this is
It's a
converted
temp
golf
course.
Yeah.
I first saw a singles format. It's only one round, $35, unlimited mulligans. But it comes with a lunch, a player pack, and you could drive golf carts around
Ooh.
for an additional fee.
I might do that just for the golf course.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Mhm.
saying.
and for the dogs and cats.
Oh, yeah, that too. Yeah.
Yeah. I will be out of town that weekend, but that sounds like a lot of fun.
It's funny because actually my uncle that lives out that way in Rome, he sent it to me on Facebook before. I'm like, how did he even catch wind of this? Like, he doesn't play disc golf. Like, he sent me the event for it. I don't know what else is going on in August. Usually nothing, right? August is kind of a dead zone.
That middle is, yeah. I'm still figuring out exactly what to do with Whipple City.
Yeah, it looks like there's Gaw Greens on the 17th if you wanted to play Camp Gaw again.
That's greens though.
Totally different.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Different layout, much shorter layout. You don't go up and down the hill. I mean, literally, you don't throw down and up the hill.
Oh, well.
Well, yeah, and like also like hole 2 on the black layout is holes, I want to say 3, 4, and 5 on the green
Oh,
layout.
yeah. It purposely avoids the ski slopes.
Yeah, it's a little bit more amateur. Then there's the NADGT Premier event at Maple Hill, which is the 16th through the 18th. I don't know anything about that.
I know it's for amateurs.
Yeah. And then at the very end, I have officially locked in the Stony Hill Scramble as the 31st and the 1st of August and September.
All right.
But other than
Nice.
that, looks pretty open for August.
You think we can all pile into one golf cart, you think? We're just-
Now, Alex.
Yeah, no, I take up too much space.
All right, Candy, got a quiz here. 2 categories, disc or no disc. Actually, I'm sorry, 3 categories again. Category 1, Category 2, or Category 3.
I feel in one, Randy.
All right, let's do one.
All right, 1 is 1 from last week. That one hasn't changed.
There you go.
Question 1, Category 1. What unit of measure is used to describe the distance a photon travels in a vacuum in 365 days? What unit of measure is used to describe the distance a photon travels in a vacuum in 365 days?
Seems like a light year.
Sounds a lot like a light year.
Let's go light year.
Should we go with parsec?
That's up to you. I don't know, you're the nerd.
No, let's go light year.
Is the light year a disc?
Yes, because of course it is.
Oh man, I don't like it.
No? So you want to say no?
I don't know. I want to say no.
No, it is. No, it is not. I mean,
No, it is not a disc.
that's the answer, right?
Oh man,
You said no a lot.
Yeah, you guys got to
No.
confirm what you're
I
trying
was
to
I thought
say.
Pat was just like
I was
dragging
fishing.
out the like. No, it is not. It is.
The answer is no. It is not a disc.
You are correct.
Yes.
Good job, Randy.
What he was trying to say was, yeah, no.
Yeah.
That's, yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah, no. Or yeah, no, yeah.
Yeah.
Alex and Jaimen. I guess Jalix.
Yeah, which is my team with half the people on the podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm good with 2, unless you feel particularly
There's also 3.
strongly about. Oh yeah, there's 3, aren't there?
I'm fine with whatever. We can mix it up. We can go super traditional, wherever you're feeling.
Let's go 1 and 3 just to mess with things.
All right, let's do it.
3 was just an add-on. Probably the suckiest of the 3. Okay, question 1, category 3. In an Irish tale, clever Tom captures what type of magical creature who promises to bring him wealth, but deceives him instead? In an Irish tale, clever Tom captures what type of magical creature who promises to bring him wealth, but deceives him instead?
He had me on the first half of that question. I was really worried,
Yeah.
but I'm going to say leprechaun.
Leprechaun was my thought. I mean, it could also theoretically just be general fairy, I think, but Leprechaun is where I'm leaning.
Yeah, it's got to be, right? This is question 1. If it was question
Yeah.
5, the answer might be fairy.
Yeah, I'm good with Leprechaun.
All right.
Is the leprechaun a disc?
I don't like it.
I don't like it either.
Let's just say no then. Let's not stress it.
All right. No.
You are correct.
Nice.
Low stress. Love the no stress.
All right, so category 1 or 3, Candy.
I think I'm going to like 1 more than 3, Randy.
Yeah, let's try 1 again.
Question 2, category 1. In Plato's dialogue, Phaedo, spelled Phaedo, Socrates argues that what non-physical part of a human being must be immortal. In Plato's dialogue, Phaedo, Phaedo, Socrates argues that what non-physical part of a human being must be immortal.
Is this just soul?
I was thinking
is a
like
disc.
conscious, but soul seems like a
Oh.
better answer. The soul's immortal. Yeah, I'm not really sure what else it could be in relation to an organism, a human being. Yeah, soul.
You guys both agree?
Yeah.
Is the soul a disc?
All right. So I know it's spelled SOL, it is a disc. Is it SOUL? I don't actually know.
Yeah, is it Seoul or is that SEOL, like the city, or
SOUL.
All right. I have no idea if there's one SOUL.
but and you would not say that SOL disc satisfies the answer, Pat?
No.
Okay, so
specifically SOUL, because I've already done SOLE and SOL.
Oh yeah, right. There's SOLE is a soul word too. The English language.
Language is terrible. yeah. I think it's a good name.
Yeah,
for this,
I would
though.
say yeah.
Yeah, I realized the SOLE one after the fact. So, but
Yeah.
You can use that another time.
oh no, I already did. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Independent Discs, March 25th, 2024.
Nice.
Yeah, Vibram makes a SOLE.
Oh, that's funny.
I realized it because I think I might have had the same type of question where it was phonetic, and my answer was no, and somebody corrected me that SOLE is a disc. But this just came out in March, so I had to use it. So yeah, I didn't look for multiple spelling variations. So
Yeah, so any pronunciation of soul now has a disc, or any spelling.
exactly.
That's wonderful.
Normally, I would allow like every other spelling of soul, but in this one, because All right, Jalix, 1 or 3.
I don't have a handle on either of them yet.
Nope. Want to go with 3?
Sounds good to me.
All right.
Question 2, category 3. Alan Moore's 1980s graphic novel turned film with a dystopian look at a near future England is called V for what? Alan Moore's 1980s graphic novel turned film with a dystopian look at a near future England is called V for what?
I was all in on Watchmen until UK. V for Vendetta.
Is the Vendetta a disc?
That does sound like a good disc name.
Does sound like a good disc name, doesn't it?
It sounds like something Latitude 64 would do.
Yeah, it kind of does. It's got that weapony feel to it.
Yeah, or like Doomsday or something.
Yeah, I say
I'm
yeah.
happy with yes.
DMI Sports, February 8th, 2013.
Also an amazing
Well, at least
movie.
oh, it's so good.
I watched it again probably within the past 2 years. Maybe it was last year, and it just like it still holds up.
See, that mean I avoid history questions. You would know some history then if you watched it.
Yeah.
Not that it was real history, but you would. Yeah,
Most of the history I've
you know.
learned is through some type of video game, historical video game.
A lot of Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, if it wasn't in Assassin's Creed, you don't know.
Not Assassin's Creed, but it's similar, yeah.
All right, Candy, 1 or 3.
I have no idea what these categories
yeah.
are. Should we just stick with one until we
I
mess
would
up?
say so, yes. 1.
All right.
All right. Question 3, category 1. What Native American's depiction on a $20 banknote in the 1860s was the first time a real woman was seen on American currency? What Native American's depiction on a $20 banknote in the 1860s was the first time a real woman was seen on American currency?
Would this be Sacagawea? That's like the only. I know she was on the gold dollar, but
I can't really think of another Native American, anybody on a currency other than Sacagawea.
I want to go Sacagawea then.
Could you, but as a disc name though, Sacagawea?
What else do you have? Like Pocahontas isn't going to be on a $20 note.
Pocahontas real.
Yeah, she was, but like completely skewed
Yeah,
for
very
Disney.
different.
Disney ruined that too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Sacagawea.
What do you think, Jalix?
Ooh.
Want to go with Pocahontas?
Yeah, can I hear the question again? Just in case something.
Good call.
What Native American's depiction on a $20 banknote in the 1860s was the first time a real woman was seen on American currency?
Yeah, I mean that's the only other person that I can even possibly think of.
Yeah, I'm definitely not coming up with anything else. Pocahontas.
Is the Pocahontas a disc?
Is the
It
Pocahontas?
can't be, right?
I hope not. Yeah, I would have to assume that Disney has trademarked that.
You guys
Or
agree?
tried.
Yeah, I'm happy with no.
All right. You are correct.
I feel better about the Pocahontas being a disc than the Sacagawea for some reason.
And I think I have a handle on the first category now.
All right.
All
Well,
right.
Jalix, that was a steal. So you get the next 1 or 3.
I mean, if they're on the same theme, I might have both of them, but I think
Oh,
I'd be more likely to get one.
I figured out one too.
Yeah,
I have not. I'm going to start writing the answers down.
that's what I do. So yeah, one.
Yeah.
Question 4, category 1. What unit of measure once equaled 40 yards of cloth but can vary today depending on the material? What unit of measurement once equaled 40 yards of cloth but can vary today depending on the material?
I know it less now.
The answer is bolt.
Yep, definitely.
Is the bolt a disc?
Yes.
Yes.
Latitude 64, May 17th, 2011. All right, Candy.
So what's the what?
It's Disney. It's Disney movies.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Disney movies?
You're the dude. You're the dad.
I know. I watch Disney Plus every single day. All right, let's go with one.
Well,
then.
do you know what to do? You know what you think 2 is or 3?
I mean, they're both movie titles, but they're not even in the same genre, so I don't want to like commit to.
So you want to stick with
movie
1
titles? I think we go with 1.
Okay, sure.
I mean, they're both categories are movie titles technically, but 1 is Disney.
Yeah. Okay, let's go with 1.
Let's go with 1.
All right, question 5, category 1. When capitalized, what term refers to the Pliocene glacial epoch that started creeping over North America 2 million years ago? When capitalized, what term refers to the Pleistocene glacial epoch that started creeping over North America 2 million years ago?
That'd be Jurassic Park. No,
Okay, I was going to say. Oh, I think I know this one. I think it's Ice Age. That's right. I was trying to overthink it.
no, definitely Ice Age.
Is the Ice Age a disc?
This sounds like such a bad disc name. But when I start my own company, I will just start using like geological time.
Yeah, there's
name
like a
things.
lot of dumb companies out there making dumb name discs.
You're right.
Like I wouldn't think.
This whole show is.
I know.
Facts.
I mean, I want to say no, but I also feel like it might be yes.
I want to say no though.
All right. Well, then let's go with no then.
You go with no?
Yep.
Yeah.
Doomsday Discs, February 26th, 2024. Alex, what do you got?
Do we want to finish that one out?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
All right. Question 6, category 1. Biologist Sir Richard Owen coined what word around 1841 to describe the ancient creature he dug up and displayed? Biologist Sir Richard Owen coined what word in 1841 to describe the ancient creature he dug up and displayed?
Say 1841?
1841, yep.
Is that just dinosaur?
It could be. The Good Dinosaur was a movie not too long ago.
Okay.
I don't think we have any. Yeah, like I'm trying to think of dinosaurs that might have been discovered before the 1800s, and I don't think so. Yeah, I think I'm happy with dinosaur.
Okay. Yeah, I don't have anything else, but I don't know that many Disney movies. Is it Bambi?
Don't think it's
Jungle
Bambi.
Book.
Okay.
You guys good with that?
Yep, good with dino.
Is the dinosaur a disc? And there's also a movie called Dinosaur.
Oh, is there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got the Happy Meal like hand puppet from that movie, like in the late 90s.
I remember like a TV show.
Was that called Dinosaurs?
I don't know. It was like a sitcom with dinosaurs. in
I'm
it?
the baby,
Oh, yeah.
gotta love me.
Not the mama.
Not the mama. Yep.
That show, I don't know. That kind of creeps me out. Weird.
Yeah, the puppetry. They're not animatronics at that point. They're just puppets. But yeah, no, it's a little bit creepy.
Yeah, it was actually just called Dinosaurs as well.
Dinosaur definitely feels like, well, Dinosaur sounds like the name of a company of discs, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like there'd be a T-Rex or, Spinosaurus or something like that. But I don't know if there'd be just a dinosaur.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to go with no.
I think I'm good with no.
All right. I like it.
You are correct.
Nice.
I'm back on track a little bit.
All right, so I got 10-5 Jalix over Candy.
That's what I got.
All right, Candy. Question 3, category 3. Blood Type and the Cullens are chapters in what 2005 book, the first in a series? Blood Type and the Cullens are chapters in what 2005 book, the first in a series?
Twilight. Don't ask me why I know it.
I'm not even going to bother. It just answers a lot of questions I've always had about yeah, sure, Twilight.
Is the Twilight a disc?
Yeah.
I'll go with Corey on this one. I talked him out of the last one.
So you say it is a disc?
So yeah.
But now the way you're asking that question,
said yeah.
no, yeah,
No.
it is.
I'm sorry, no.
See, I knew
my
I
God.
had a chance. I had a chance to
Oh, it's all over.
All right, Jalix.
Category 3.
Question 4, yes. On February 22nd, 1980, what did Al Michaels ask if we believed in? On February 22nd, 1980, what did Al Michaels ask if we believed in?
Is that magic?
I would have guessed ghosts.
Oh, I don't know the categories. I don't know who Al Michaels is, but I just thought of that song, like, Do You Believe in Magic?
Yeah.
Girl's Heart.
Yeah.
So we got Leprechaun, Vendetta, and Twilight in this setup, which, it's kind of, like on the edge of horror movies, I guess. Like Twilight is obviously not a horror movie, but, it involves vampires.
Depends on who you talk to.
I'm scared.
Yeah, if you have a better answer, I am all right with that.
Yeah, my thought was ghosts or ghost stories. My thought is it's Goosebumps or something like Goosebumps, but I don't think I don't know. My thought is ghosts. I'm happy with ghosts, but I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, if you want to go with ghosts, it sounds like it fits into the category a little bit snugger. So I'm good with that.
Sure.
What do you got, Candy?
Dang it.
I'm thinking aliens.
Is Al Michaels not the guy that commentates football?
I have no idea who Al Michaels is.
I'm probably totally wrong about that. I'm sure I got laughed at. So I was, for some reason, I was thinking of miracles. But what did you say? Aliens?
Aliens, which is also a pseudo horror movie.
It's also a disc.
The Alien is an end of a disc.
Yeah, but did we already do that one?
It's a new disc.
Yeah, Alien, sure.
Came out like last year, so I like Aliens.
Alien.
Oh man, Corey, you had it. You believe in miracles.
Yeah, he said it, and I'm like, oh my goodness, is that the Miracle on Ice?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Damn it! It is the motherfucker that does the football games. I knew it. Oh, damn it!
I drove through there today.
U.S. beat Russia in the semifinals and then beat Finland to win the gold.
I knew a sports thing, and I didn't sports it up enough.
And the miracle is a disc. DKG Disc Sports, April 4th, 2010.
Because of course it is. That's what I would have said.
All right. Jalek. Oh,
No, that was ours.
No,
steal.
was ours.
That was a steal. Question 5 for Candy. In the 2004 film Mean Girls, what does Gretchen Wieners try to make popular to no avail? In the 2004 film Mean Girls, what does Gretchen Wieners try to make popular to no avail?
Are you saying clenching wieners?
Gretchen
Oh.
Wieners.
And she said,
Jeez,
stop
Corey.
trying to make fetch happen.
Oh, you know this one too?
So fetch. Yeah, I've seen this movie like 20 times.
I'm gonna take
So
yeah.
fetch.
I'm gonna have to side with Randy on this one, Pat. Whatever he says.
Is the fetch a disc?
That's such a good disc name. If it's not, like somebody missed the boat.
Sounds like a dog toy.
Like you throw it to a dog. Yeah.
Probably an MVP mold or something.
You guys go with that?
Overrule me, Corey. I'm saying yes.
Yes.
I'm sorry, no.
Oh, Randy,
my
you're so
God.
bad.
All right. Well, let's make it right now.
But I was going to say that's one of the few that I was like, why isn't it? Yeah.
I was 100% in on it was because I thought it was the dynamic disc, but that's the bite.
Yeah.
I thought it was the fetch.
Yeah. Jalix, final question. Ice Cube didn't play Xander, but Darius in what 2005 film sequel subtitled State of the Union? Ice Cube didn't play Xander, but Darius in what 2005 film sequel subtitled State of the Union?
Was that Triple X?
I like it. I have no idea.
I am half remembering a bunch of commercials. I think Triple X State of the Union was a thing, and I know that Triple X is a disc. Yeah, I don't think I'm coming up with anything else.
Yeah, no, I like it. I have no answers, so that one sounds good to me.
Is the Triple X a disc?
Nice.
Yeah, it's Latitude 64, I believe. Or
Yep.
Yeah, I think it is.
Can you give me the date?
Before we started playing, because Josh Wynn gave us some.
I was gonna say I think that one came out. I'm gonna guess. I can give you a year.
Yeah.
Or guess a year. I'm gonna say 2012.
Alex?
I would have said 10.
November 21st, 2008.
Oh, even further.
All right, but still, Jalix is our winners. If Candy got that last one, they had a shot, but
Yeah.
turns out it didn't matter.
Blew it.
You guys got the final question. You blew it. What was it? Did I say 12-7? I think.
That's what I got.
You know what's going to happen next week, Randy, is you're going to get to pick your partner again because you're still going to have the lowest points.
No, he's going to make me play alone next week.
Anybody have anything before we go?
Go to your work days, always. And go to your local coursework days.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Alex, Corey, Randy, Jaimen, and Jason, and Sweeto. What's up?
Thanks, Pat.
Thanks, Pat.
Thanks, Pat.
Bad.
Thanks.
Jaimen, at one point you had suggested that we should get like a saw blade attachment for our trimmer.
Yeah.
We got to use that for the first time today. That thing is so great.
Oh yeah.
Taking out like the centimeter stems or, half-inch stems, whatever size you're looking at there, is so much easier when you can just, do a couple of swipes with that thing instead of trying to use a clipper or loppers on those.
Oh, it goes so fast. Yeah.
It's so much better.
What are you using for personal protection equipment, though, before you saw your ankle in half?
There's a guard on them. It's fine.
You're talking about a weed whacker, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's on a 4-foot long metal pole. You can't hit your ankles even if you try.
Alex has long ass legs, though.
I got the long arms to go with them, so it's the same extension,
Yeah. The only people that should be worried are the people standing behind you.
Yep.
I wonder what the centroid is if it would never.
You want to know the formula to figure it out?
I have lost it, but I remember sizing steel beams in college and doing that all the frickin' time. Ugh, it's a little bit tedious.
But yeah, those attachments are awesome. I got one for like a harness weed whacker 2-handle one.
Mm.
And it's got a blade attachment, and man, you can just go to town on like brush and stuff so much quicker.
Oh yeah. I will say make sure that you check the specs on your weed whacker before you use it too much.
Yeah, we ended up getting a commercial weed whacker to make sure that everything was compatible.
That's awesome then. Yeah. I think those will fit on basically any weed whacker, but they will absolutely break the shaft of a smaller weed whacker if you don't get the right one.
You don't want to have a broken shaft.
No. I knew that was coming.
Yeah, so I just sent a picture in the chat. The stuff that's sort of out of the gap is what we cleared out today, and that was so much easier.
Yeah, I love that. When I've started CTK, I just had one of those like golf club style.
The Greg Kurt special?
Yep.
Yeah. I don't know how Greg does it. I actually developed wrist problems pretty quickly from using it, even just a little bit. Hole 10 at CTK used to be a field where the fairway is inside there. And I used the golf club thing to outline where I wanted it mowed. And yeah, like very quickly was developing wrist problems. Greg is made out of steel and chocolate milk.
Get that like weird phenomenon where you use it all day and then you can't open your hand. It's stuck closed. It's like, this does not feel right.
I get that even with a regular weed whacker, to be honest.
One question on the new course. Is that going to be a challenge for you, the new course, or are you building it down a level?
Like skill level?
Yeah.
My initial goal is to have something that's more conducive to newer players in Greenville. I want to kind of build up a base of more local players there. It does have the potential to have much longer championship style holes. And so I'm kind of in the back of my mind also planning those out as we develop it. Jaimen actually was like a week ago, walked like the whole property with me, and I was bouncing some ideas off of him. So I don't know if he's got any other thoughts.
You know, next time you guys do something like that, feel free to record it. You know, I'll edit it.
It was so windy, it would just sound like static.
I like the fact that you have you might potentially have something close that you know. That...
I could see it replacing my focus on mine kill long term. Like a decade from now, I'd be rather running an A tier 2 miles from my house than say 30.
Is there anybody in the vicinity that would take over for you at Minekill?
Yeah, there's a good club starting out there. Actually, the one that jumps out immediately is Dan Eigner. He stepped up.
That's what I was thinking of too.
Big time. Yeah. Last year for like course maintenance before Minekill, I mean, he like did the majority of it. And he's not too far. He lives in Margaretville, which isn't too far from Minekill. And I was trying to get people for Island Park Day to come out to Greenville. And he's like, nah, I'm going to Minekill. So he'd be one that would step up and keep it going.